Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. It's evening now. It is midnight, and I've been contemplating. Cheers. I've been contemplating a lot of things since seeing that Harry and Meghan went to the Katy Perry concert, which may seem like a frivolous, in the grand scale of things, of stuff that's happening in the world today. But Princess Diana always really stuck with me a lot. She was a big thing in my life. Never met her, never spoke to her, didn't know her, and yet I loved her, like a lot of other people. And, her son, her youngest son, wrote this book. And I've been thinking about him a lot today. And I know, as we all know, he's been going through some things. And I saw this morning in the Daily Mail the actual video, not just a couple of still shots, because obviously still shots, they can get an unlucky shot. Newspapers can be mischievous. They can get a shot that gives the impression that people are having a great time. They can take the shot, editors, that they're having a terrible time. I know myself, I've been in the papers, so I know exactly how they are. And that's one of the reasons I love YouTube. The fact that people can look me up. That's another reason I don't care what, critics, let's call them critics, shall we, and be polite, do stuff, because who cares? I remember back in the day seeing Taz getting criticised and called a racist and stuff, and before I had even said a word on YouTube myself, and I thought, this is utterly ridiculous. Anyone can go and watch her videos for themselves and see she is nothing of the sort. And members of the royal family, of course, they're really guarded, but this particular member of the royal family has written this book. Yes, I defaced it. Yeah, I know that was childish, but he wrote the book because he wanted us to know. He invited us into his world. Now, for all his faults, I'm going to really go out on a limb here and say something. I truly believe that what we witnessed in the video on the Daily Mail, and it's on TikTok, and there are other videos of him and Meghan at Katy Perry's concert, I truly believe what we are seeing is the beginning of the war of the Sussexes. Now, cast your mind back to the War of the Waleses. Diana was very good at PR. She was very good at making Prince Charles look worse. Not that he needed any help, because the guy was, all out there, didn't have a fucking clue. But she knew. She was lovely, and I loved her to bits. I really did. And I loved her for her faults. Not because she was perfect. I loved her because she had her faults, but she was also very, very savvy when it came to PR in the media, how things look. I think it was, her and Charles did a South Korea tour, and she was sitting there, like this, and all bored and sad, and like she was showing, because members of the royal family can't say stuff, so they depict stuff in another manner. That's another reason I'm fascinated by the whole PR thing. And what I saw in that video of Harry and Meghan at the Katy Perry concert is, yes, there are moments, the videos, there are moments where Meghan pokes him. And he'll go like, oh yeah, but then or to put it another way, like Princess Diana, he'll go, This is the beginning of Harry's bite back, I believe. I've told you a million times, I don't think they've been together properly for a long time. Look at, what's she called, this woman, Will Smith's ex-wife of 7 years, 8 years or whatever, Jada Pinkett Smith. She's openly come out and said they only pretended they were married and still together for PR. Meryl Streep. Oh, I split up with my husband 6 years ago. I've only been pretending for PR. The PR told me. And I feel Harry is... Oh, there's so much I would love to say to Harry. So much. I have read the second half of this again. And to me, it is glaringly obvious. The guy obviously was either led by his dick or just so in love. He can't see it himself. But I mean, if you did read this book, and this book will go down in history, this will become part of the record. It's a testimony to how Meghan literally set him up. That's how she comes across in the book. I know we've all, you know, me, Daniel Boland, other people have done excerpts and takes on it. I haven't read the first half of the book. I've read the first 2 chapters, and after that he kind of lost me. I will make the effort to read the entire book again, and probably again and again and again, because what this is how Harry was feeling at that particular moment, or how he was manipulated at that particular moment. Now, I can hear a lot of you going, hey, Fiona, don't throw him a bone. He's allowed her, he's enabled her, he's been just as complicit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. He's a multi-millionaire, and he gave her a lot of power, and she did a lot of damage. And yes, they have been like that in lockstep. However, I'm sorry, I will always, if there is a divorce and they split up and he finally wakes up, I will always choose his side, because he is Diana's other boy. I will always side with William. And people say that the palace did stuff to cover up for Harry. Yes, you're absolutely right. And I bet they do that for all of them. Of course they do. That's their job. They bend over backwards, which is what makes me believe the bullying rumours in the palace about Meghan, because they will have bent over backwards. So she must have been like a super bitch for them to just go, oh, sick of you. Sick of you. But I don't care about her. This dude is my main focus, who I worry about. And also the rest, the wider family, royal family. And I saw that video, and he deliberately went out of his way. He's a royal, right? He's a Windsor. Above all, forget all the acrimony. He's a Windsor. He went out of his way to make sure the cameras, the phones, got him looking bored, pissed off. I'm sick of her. This is the beginning of the war of the Sussexes, trust me. I can see it a mile off. I think the guys finally realised who it was who was leaking like a Tanner lady all along. That he's accused people who've looked after him and looked out for him since his mother's death. People have been dead loyal to him. That he's cut asunder, cut adrift on her advice. And the other thing that I saw in the video, which really surprised me actually, was I was looking at Meghan and her behaviour. She is utterly oblivious to the fact that he set her up by deliberately looking miserable. When she taps him and goes, Harry, he's like, oh yeah, ha 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 ha. But when she's not looking and she's going, oh yeah, you know, and doing all that, He makes it his business to be like that. Now, anyone remember Princess Diana deliberately, like Prince Charles went to kiss her at the polo? Little hints like that. That's how the Windsors work. That's how the aristocracy works. I suppose it's British nature. She's oblivious to it. He's sick of her. That's my opinion. And yes, I am entitled to my opinion. Which brings me to another thing, which I do think is important. Again, the trolls, yeah, they're like Pac-Man. They're going fucking crazy over me. They've made like fake wanted posters. I'm on the run. Oh, quick hide and all that. But I was thinking, I mean, they make derogatory comments about people's physical appearance, whether it's Angela Levin, Lady Colin Campbell, according to Taz, me, Wally. Now, if you're a teenager, which isn't that Meghan's demograph? Teenagers, well, I remember being a teenager, I felt dead awkward about my physical appearance. I don't care these days. You know, as you get older, you don't care, you don't give a shit. But when you're a teenager, you care what people think. Puppy fat or awkwardness or shapes. How did they feel when her own demographic that she's targeting see Sussex Squad members laughing at people's physical appearance? How's that going to make them feel? Well, I can answer that question because there have literally been, well, I can't count them, but I'd estimate between 60 and 70 people who were Sussex Squad have shifted to our camp as a direct result of the behaviour of the trolls that follow Meghan and are under Sarah Data and Christopher Boozy. I've actually had messages from people who have switched sides. They don't like body shaming. They don't like bullying. They genuinely believed Meghan was full of kindfulness and mindfulness and exceptionalness and whatever other crazy tags. Also, I noticed that there is a YouTube channel called, oh God, now, what is it called now? Teenage... It was the ones that she and Harry interviewed in 2021. I'll have to try and find a link and put a link. But they finished their podcast about 9 months ago because they said, basically, we're not teenagers anymore. We've grown up. It's finished. It's over. We're on to adulthood. So her then demographic is now growing up. And there are no new teenagers. Teenagers who might feel self-conscious because they're a little overweight or they feel they're ugly, and they shouldn't feel like that. And they see what Meghan's supporters say to me, because I'm sitting there still as, you know, like a come get me, and keep it up, sugars, come get me, don't get anyone else, come for me. I'm absolutely fine with that. And they are looking at them saying, oh, you ugly fat old hag and all that. And these teenagers are like, oh my God, do I want to hang out with the mean girls? Because that's how they come across. I don't know if they're girls or boys, but they come across as mean girls, like, you're either in the club or you're fucking out. Fuck off. There have been, I'm serious, 60, 70, I mean, the messages on my DMs on X flooding in from people. They have switched sides, and I've been looking at Sussex Squad type X accounts, and they have like maybe 1,500 followers, not so many, you know, not that many people are interested, and their posts don't get so many hits. And I can see that genuine people who follow Meghan and support her, like Anne, Duchess of Success, yes, her YouTube channel is doing really well. And I love that because Anne, although Anne may say things that not all of us agree with, she is a very charming lady with a lovely soothing voice, and she's giving her opinion. She may be critical of Charles, Camilla, William, Catherine, but they're her opinions that she is entitled to have. And I love hearing other people's opinions. That's another thing. I think never mind the art of debate seems to have disappeared. It seems that certain people can't understand the difference between a person stating facts and giving their opinions. This channel is very much an opinion piece because I don't know anybody. Nobody gives me any information. I don't have any contacts. So all I can tell you is what I think. And I don't know for a fact that Harry and Meghan are beginning the war of the Sussexes. That's my take as a civilian, as a reader, as a viewer, just a pleb. That's what I think. Sugar's going out there on X saying, Fiona lies, she's a pathological liar, she stated a fact. Them saying shit don't make shit fact. And I don't think they can distinguish the difference between someone giving their opinion and someone stating fact. Because the disinformation and misinformation would only fall under the umbrella of fact. They would never fall under the umbrella of opinion. This is what I think. Anyway, I say that for what it's worth. I do think that Harry and William are both their mother's sons and both their father's sons. But I do see, and I am pleased to see it actually, that I think that Harry might not be quite as stupid as we had all pinned him for. So watch this space. Go on that Daily Mail again. I'll put a link in the description and watch that video if you can. And you will see he is pulling a Princess Diana on Meghan, which makes me believe there is acrimony going on in the background. And although she may have been trying to build an image in the eventuality of a divorce custody battle, I think she might have a run for her money with our old Windsor. Who knew? As always, I would love to hear your thoughts, opinions and free speech. Thank you very much for listening.